Hello, in this short lecture I will give you a couple of reasons for the non-existence of God, or a couple of reasons why God doesn't exist. The first reason why God doesn't exist is because of the fact that God is perfect, so he would have never created such an imperfect world. The second reason why God doesn't exist is because God would have never created the human beings that are capable to do sins and crimes and so on. And we can ask the simple question, why God created the human beings? If his purpose was to put them to the test, to see if they do sins and crimes and so on, then he would have created from the beginning perfect creatures that are not capable to do any wrong at all. And then he didn't have the necessity to create the human beings and to put them to the test. Okay, and we should also know that God knows what will happen in the future. So God knew that the human beings will do sins and crimes and so on. So if he knew that they will do wrong things, so why he created them from the beginning? He could have created perfect creatures that are not capable to do sins and crimes and so on. From that reason, we can say that God didn't create the human beings. Therefore, God doesn't exist. Okay, and the third reason why God doesn't exist is that God would have never created such a reality in which there is so much human sufferings and pain and so much cruelty and violence and deaths and murders and so much diseases and wars and so much poverty and hunger and so much natural disasters such as earthquakes, floods and hurricanes. God would have never created such a bad world. Therefore, God doesn't exist. The fourth reason why God doesn't exist is because that God would have never created such a reality in which the very existence of the predator is dependent in his ability to kill the prey. The very existence of the lion is dependent in his ability to kill the lamb or the deer or any other animal in order to survive. So such a cruel reality and such injustice would have never created by God. So from that reason, God didn't create the world, and therefore God doesn't exist. Okay, and the fifth reason why God doesn't exist, that there are actually three monotheistic religions. And monotheistic is defined as a belief in one God, or the oneness of God. And those three religions contradict each other in their description or in their explanation or their description of how God created the world. And they also don't have the same God. The God of the Judaism is not the same God as the God of the Christianity or the God of the Islam. So because of all those contradictions and differences in gods, we can say that none of those religions are true. They are false, they are fake, they are the invention of the human beings. And also God was created by the human beings. God was invented, the human beings invented God, therefore God doesn't exist. Okay, and the sixth and the last reason why God doesn't exist is a logic reason. We can say that logically the existence of such an entity that is omnipotent, the existence of such a being that is all power is logically impossible. Okay, and I will explain why from the simple reason that we can ask the simple question: if God is able to create such a big stone that he himself cannot lift, if the answer to that question is positive, then we can say that God is not able to lift the stone that he himself created, so he is not omnipotent, he is not all power. And if the answer to that question is negative, that is to say God is not able to create such a big stone that he himself cannot lift, then we can deduce the same conclusion, that God is not omnipotent, God is not all power. Anyway, we can conclude from this example that such an entity that is all power, or such a being such a being that is all power can not exist logically. So God that is defined as all power cannot exist logically, therefore God doesn't exist. So that's where those 6 reasons is all the reasons that for non-existence of God. Okay, thank you very much.